several minutes later, the audience began to cheer for the students. The stage had 4 platforms so that 4 different fights could take place at the same time. Jiang He caught everyone's attention and informed them that the 3rd round of selection was about to begin. He asked participant number 135, Lu Sheng, and number 452, Jian Long, to go to platform number 4. Upon hearing this, Lu Sheng prepared himself to step onto the platform. He started stretching his fingers, and while looking down at the ground, he began to smile as it was finally his turn to participate. Once Lu Sheng approached the stage, he saw that it was packed with people. He tried to make his way through by pushing people, but because there were so many, he was unable to. After trying for several minutes, Lu Sheng got tired. With a murderous look on his face, he began staring towards the combat platform. Within seconds, Lu Sheng's body started emitting a powerful spiritual energy. Lu Sheng's powerful spiritual energy started advancing towards platform 4, pushing aside all the people in its path. Upon seeing the powerful spiritual energy emanating from Lu Sheng's body, people began to wonder who he was and why he had this spiritual energy. Lu Sheng simply put his hands in his pockets and started descending the stairs towards platform 4. A muscular man with green hair began pushing through the crowd and approached him. The man clenched his fist tightly and, while giving Lu Sheng an angry look, asked him if he was responsible for this. The man activated his Kai, gained momentum, and quickly began to advance towards Lu Sheng with the intention of ending his life. While Lu Sheng had his hands in his pockets, he slightly turned his head to the side, and upon seeing the man approaching him, he became somewhat confused and started wondering what was happening. The man attempted to strike Lu Sheng, but at that moment, Lu Sheng's body began emitting a powerful energy and he simply turned his body slightly to the side, evading the punch as if it were nothing. Lu Sheng didn't even bother to take his hands out of his pockets. He simply kicked the man with a strong kick, sending him flying. The man's body collided with the stairs. His body had impacted with such force that even the stairs had broken into pieces. Due to the strength with which Lu Sheng had struck the man, he was left unconscious. All the people around turned their heads, and while they were looking at the man, they were speechless as they couldn't believe that a muscular man like him had been defeated by a simple kick. Lu Sheng turned around, closed his eyes, and while descending toward the stage he asked the man if he was looking for trouble. He also added that it was madness to use Kai to attack someone. He thought that someone who used Kai to attack was clearly seeking to hurt someone. Several minutes later, Lu Sheng stepped onto the stage. With his hands in his pants pockets, he began to look around and, not seeing any trace of his opponent, he asked Jiang He why the other participant had not yet arrived. While Jiang He held the microphone with one hand, he started looking towards the audience and called out for Jiang Long from Nanlong Martial Arts School. He called several times and, seeing that no one responded, he told Jiang Long that if he didn't come up soon, then he would consider him to have lost. One of the men caught Lu Sheng's and Jiang He's attention. Using his finger, the man pointed to a side and with a trembling voice explained that the person who had just been sent flying by Lu Sheng was Jiang Long. Upon hearing this, Jiang He looked towards the stairs, and upon seeing Jiang Long unconscious, he decided that it was not necessary to continue the competition. He informed everyone that Lu Sheng would advance to the next round. Lu Sheng simply sighed, looked aside, and thought that this was a surprise. The 3rd round of selection also ended quickly, and now only the top 100 remained who would compete for a spot in the real final. The fight between the students began. An orange-haired student struck his opponent using his elbow, sending him out of the ring. Another short-haired student punched his opponent in the face, defeating him, winning the round and advancing to the next round. It was Lu Sheng's turn, and just before his opponent could make any move, Lu Sheng simply punched him, causing him to fall out of the ring. Seeing this, the referee pointed at Lu Sheng with his hand and declared him the winner, advancing to the next round. The audience was quite impressed to see the strength of Lu Sheng. Among the audience, there was a man with orange hair who crossed his arms, and while staring intently at the stage, he explained to his companion named Wang Xin that Lu Sheng from the clan of the Seven Saints had quite a strong power. After saying this, the man slightly lowered his head, and while staring at Lu Sheng, he explained to Wang Xin that in the last round, even Yu Jinghong, who was among the top 20, couldn't do anything against Lu Sheng. He told Wang Xin that if he challenged Lu Sheng, then he wouldn't have many chances of winning. Wang Xing turned his head towards the other man and, while holding the sword's rope in his hand, told him that he was going to try his best, and if it didn't work, then he would use that special card. The other man explained to him that this card had been specifically created by the master for Wang Xin to face the extreme twins and the Saint of Transcendence. Both started looking at the stage, and the man explained to Wang Xin that Lu Sheng's power had shown itself to be on par with the extreme twins and the Saint of Transcendence, so it wouldn't be a waste to use the special card against him. To not discourage Wang Xin, the man told him that he still had a chance to reach the top 4. While he was looking towards the stage, he replied that he understood. At the same time, in one of the stands were Lion Jaibai, Ko Kian and Ko King, who were watching Lu Sheng's fight. While Lion Jaibai had both hands behind his back, he began to stare fixedly at the stage and told the two of them that Lu Sheng was quite talented. Upon hearing this, Ko Kian and Ko King started to look at Lu Sheng with an aggressive gaze. Lion Jaibai slightly turned his head back, and with a murderous look, he told them that it was good that Lu Sheng was talented, because if only they had Zhang Yu from the Institute of Transcendence, the pressure on the two of them would be much lower in this tournament. He explained to both of them that Lu Sheng was an excellent sharpening stone. He also added that maybe the two of them could directly ascend to master thanks to him. Upon hearing this, Ko Kian and Ko King couldn't help but feel joyful. Both started staring at Lion Jaibai and started smiling. The girl with blue hair, who was also watching Lu Sheng's fight, couldn't help but feel scared when she saw that Lu Sheng's power was truly terrifying. Her brother turned his head towards her, clenched his fist tightly, and asked her to stop being so pessimistic. He acknowledged that while it was true that Lu Sheng had considerable power, at most he was on the level of extreme twins or perhaps a little more. After saying this, he asked her if she lacked confidence in herself. She began to look down at the ground and became nervous. Then she opened her eyes, and as she saw Lu Sheng's body emitting a suffocating spiritual energy, she started sweating and feeling afraid. She told her brother that what he had just said was only what the eyes of ordinary people saw. She quickly looked away from the stage, put both hands on her face, and with fearful eyes, she hoped not to find Lu Sheng at the end of that way, because even if she lost willingly, she didn't want to appear so shameful. 4 hours later, Jiang He reached out to the audience and informed them that the 7th round of the martial arts tournament was about to begin. He also added that whoever wins this round will be among the top 10 in the country. Lu Sheng stepped onto the stage and was somewhat surprised to see that his opponent was Wang Xin. He realized that Wang Xin had graduated from the prestigious Holy Sites Academy, so technically he was a fellow student from the same school. While Lu Sheng had his hands in his pockets, he began walking towards Wang Xin and asked if they should be a little more friendly this time. Wang Xin simply crossed his arms and remained silent, listening. While he was staring at Lu Sheng, he thought that he was the Demon King of the Great Academy of the Seven Saints. He also thought that now that he had encountered Lu Sheng, his reputation would be affected. He decided not to think about it anymore, since reputation was always earned through power, and it still wasn't known who was stronger. While Lu Sheng had both hands in his pants pocket, he began to look at Wang Xin and wonder what he was thinking. Several seconds later, the referee raised his arm and the fight began. Lu Sheng started looking at Wang Xin and with a smile asked him to attack first, as it was a gesture of courtesy for a superior comrade. Wang Xin started staring at Lu Sheng and explained that before graduating, he had been at the top of the Seven Saints leaderboard for 2 years. Upon hearing this, Lu Sheng was quite astonished. He took his hands out of his pockets, placed one hand on his waist, and gave Wang Xin a thumbs-up sign with the other hand. With a smile, Lu Sheng told him that he was really cool and also asked him to make sure to use all of his power. While Wang Xin was looking at Lu Sheng, he clenched his teeth tightly, and as he unsheathed his sword, he thought that he was truly annoying. Wang Xin began shouting, and as his body was surrounded by powerful spiritual energy, he told Lu Sheng that if things were like this, then the fight could begin. Little by little, Wang Xin began to unsheath the sword, and the blade started emanating a powerful energy. Once Wang Xin unsheathed the sword, he held it with both hands, and the blade of his sword transformed into a powerful golden energy. The blade started emitting a powerful light and gusts of wind. Upon seeing this, all the people present were left speechless. One of the men told to the others that Wang Xin's sword power far surpassed that of an average level 6 peak warrior. Another man told to the others that this power rivaled the realm of complete mastery. People couldn't believe that Wang Xin really had this power. Wang Xin's power soon reached Lion Jaibai, Ko Kian, and Ko King, who were astonished. While Lion Jaibai was covering his face with his arm, he began to wonder if Wang Xin had used some kind of secret technique to temporarily increase his strength. He soon realized that with this power explosion, he wouldn't be able to continue fighting after this battle. As Ko Kian stared fixedly at the stage, he started smiling and told Lion Jaibai that this explosion was comparable to their maximum effort along with Ko King. He wondered how Lu Sheng would face this. While Wang Xin's body emitted a powerful energy, Lu Sheng simply stood there watching. Wang Xin grabbed the sword with both hands and its blade transformed into a giant blade of energy. As he advanced towards Lu Sheng at great speed, he stared into his eyes and explained that the secret technique of burning blood allows him to increase his strength by more than 50%. Although he wouldn't be able to use his strength for another while, it was worth it for him to use the technique against Lu Sheng. As Wang Xin slowly advanced towards Lu Sheng, the energy on the sword's blade gradually grew larger and larger. This technique was called Triple Frenzied Cut of Burning Blood, Furious Wave. Instead of trying to dodge the attack, Lu Sheng simply put his hands in his pockets and started walking towards it. Seeing what Wang Xin was about to do, the referee panicked and extended his hand towards him, asking him to stop. Wang Xin attacked Lu Sheng, and as the sword blade slowly approached his face, Wang Xin asked him to let him defeat him. Just before the blade could impact Lu Sheng's head, he simply caught it with just 2 fingers of his hand, and slowly his body began to emit a powerful blue spiritual energy. Seeing this, Wang Xin was dumbfounded. As he stared at Lu Sheng, he started wondering what was happening. Lu Sheng gained momentum, and while his body was surrounded by a powerful energy, he approached Wang Xin. He clenched his fist tightly, and as he prepared to attack, he reminded him that earlier he had told him to use all his power. Lu Sheng struck Wang Xin in the chest, causing him to be sent flying backwards. Wang Xin's body fell several meters back, and while Lu Sheng was staring at him intently, he asked why he was unable to understand something as simple as even an eagle attacking a rabbit with all its might. After saying this, he decided to give him another chance. He asked Wang Xin to use any secret technique or special ability he had to unleash his potential. While Wang Xin was lying on the ground, he began to tremble. He placed his hand on his chest, clenched his teeth tightly, and with the little strength he had left, he opened one eye. He had used all of his power, so he didn't understand why Lu Sheng was saying that. He couldn't believe that he had lost even after using his last trick up his sleeve. Within seconds, Wang Xin fell unconscious due to his injuries. Lu Sheng turned away from him, and as he walked away, the referee announced to everyone that Lu Sheng was the winner of this fight. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.